Hey guys, I'm Terry.
And I'm Brian, and welcome back to the Forest Farm Project. Today we're at Terry's old house again.
Getting ready to install these cabinets by Palmetto Cabinet Doors. It's been a long time coming.
It's going to be really nice.
Phenomenal doors.
Oh yeah. Let's get to it. Alright, for this cabinet door install we're going to be using Blum hinges and of course Blum hinge plates. The hinge plates determine your overlay. We've got 1/2 inch overlay and this particular model is 175L603 and the hinge model is 70T555.
They have a spring in them so it keeps them closed.
Really nice, and they quick attach. So if you want to take your cabinet door off to clean or repaint or anything like that, pop a little lever, they detach. It's a really nice setup.
Yeah, very handy for us, like when we're hooking up a dishwasher line or garbage disposal line or something.
Working under the sink, you can pop the doors off and you don't have to worry about them being in the way.
Yeah, because we might break them.
Yeah. All right, we're going to show you how to install these things. Okay, before we get started, let's look at some of the specifications of the back of the door. One thing is, with Palmetto cabinet doors, he offsets his top and bottom hinges at 3 inches from the edge of the door. So you know that's going to be a standard you can set up accordingly. When you pop the hinge in and the hinge plate on, that sets us, with the overlay, 2.5 inches to center of where the hinge is going to be mounted. But the hinge plate is 2 inches wide. So cut that measurement in half, you get 1 inch. So you got 2.5 from edge of door to center. Then take 1 inch off, makes 1.5. We cut a 1.5 inch spacer block that we clamp to the face frame. When we clamp that to the face frame, all we have to do is butt the hinge plate up to that block. We pre-drill, screw it in, then we mount the door. It's quick and easy. So that's how we do the top hinge. Once the top hinge is installed, gravity is your friend and the door is hanging down instead of working from the bottom up, and the door might be trying to hang out on you. So once that's installed, we've already got our other hinges installed and we want to put the plate on the bottom hinge, and then we get the door lined up. We don't need this block anymore because the door is already mounted in place with this top plate. We will set it in position, clamp it, and screw it down. We're good to go. Then your third hole, if the door is over 3 feet, there'll be a third hole, at least on Andy's doors at Palmetto cabinet doors, and that is going to be centered equidistant from the top and bottom hole. So if you get the top and bottom hinges installed first, then you install the third hinge, you've got less chance of being out of line because it's going to go where it's going to go between those two hinges. There's no other option. If you install the middle hinge after the top hinge, you could be slightly out of square and it could throw your bottom hinge off. For our particular installation, we messed up and didn't get enough hinge plates, so we are not going to be installing our center hinge plate right now. We've got to get those, and then when we do, we'll come back and install the center hinge plates. Alright, now let's show you how quick and easy these hinges install into the doors. So this is your hinge cup. It's where the hinge installs in, and we had Andy at Palmetto Cabinet Doors go ahead and do these for us. It's just a small fee for each one, and it saves us a ton of time and a ton of setup. He has a very precise machine that drills Blum hinge cups specifically. So it's a really easy way to do it. Takes a lot of aggravation out for us. Now that the hinge cup is here, all I do is line this hinge up, push it in. I've got my screw holes. I can slightly twist that to get them lined up. Now we take a screwdriver. You could use a drill, but we don't want to risk stripping these out. So we do it the old-fashioned way. It takes a little more time, but it's worth it so that we don't risk messing up our doors. Andy did an awesome job on these. We really don't want to ruin them. And we just like to snug these up. We could always come back and tighten them up later. We don't want to risk stripping them out. For those of you wondering, we are using Worth 41900 6x5/8 screws. Working really well so far. Now this hinge is in, we'll just repeat the process for the other two on this door. Alright, now that my hinges are installed, like I said before, the bottom hinge plate will not be mounted to the face frame. That will be clamped to the door so that we can line it up properly. So I'll go ahead and clamp this one in place. That way it's ready to go when the door is ready to hang. Okay guys, before we get started, I want to show you real quick. These are the hinge mounting plates, and as you can see, there's two little tabs on the edge of these plates. What that does is allow me to position my mounting plate on the face frame, and it gives me proper spacing and helps me position it with ease because that kind of grabs the front of the face frame as I'm positioning the plate. So what this does is it gives me proper spacing front to back, and then all I would do is position using my little spacer block, clamp it if it's possible, and then pre-drill my holes and run my screws in, and the hinge plate is set and ready to go. Let's get to it.
Okay guys, so here's a little block we used to position our hinge plate, and we determined earlier that it was 1.5 inches we needed, and it's an 1.5 inch block. We stick that up there, clamp it down, and that holds that in place. Now I take my hinge plate, and again, as Brian said earlier, those tabs grab against the face frame, so we just slide it up against the block. Now we've got our distance back and our distance up, and that should give us perfect positioning. And we'll have to drill a couple holes here. There's a oval slot. You want to hit the center side to side and the center top to bottom. That gives you the most adjustment. Just drill a small pilot hole. Again, a lot of people just shoot the screws in there with a drill and they don't care. We like to play it safe and just use a screwdriver. And we're tight.
Okay, as we said, we got the top plate in first, so gravity's working with us, but you still want to have a second person to hold the door because even with gravity working with you and not against you, the door can flop about. You could break your face frame, your hinge, door. It's not worth the risk after you've put all this time and effort into building cabinets. It's just smart having a second person.
Yeah, I see cabinet guys doing it all the time by themselves, but they do it every day.
Yeah.
And they're ready, they got their tools all set up and ready to go. We're fumbling around and bumbling around.
Speaking of being ready, I'm going to pre-drill holes and then put screws in. Go ahead and put a screw on the screwdriver. Saves you time fumbling about.
If you got a magnetic screwdriver like that Milwaukee.
Very handy. I got to flip that out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and that's clipped in. Let me flip this over. Hold on. There we go.
I'll hold that for you, big guy.
Okay. Okay, as you can see, Dad's holding the hinge plate in place where it goes because we've already got it attached to the hinge. It can't go anywhere else. So now I'm going to pre-drill. Again, you want to roughly center top to bottom and left to right. And I've got my screw ready to go. Okay, that one's snug.
Yeah, we're good.
And now I can hit the bottom. And generally speaking, we run the vacuum while we're doing this, but we didn't want to mess up the audio for you guys. So we have a little extra mess to clean up, but it's always nice to clean up as you go, a lot less work in the end. And like we said, we made a miscalculation. We're short on some plates, so our third hinge is not going to get strapped in right now, but we will get that in the next few days. All right, let's move on to the next one. When it comes to getting your doors aligned perfectly for height, you have a little bit of play with these hinge plates. They have about a 1/4 inch opening here that's oval shaped, so it allows you to slide the plate up and down as needed. It really helps when it comes to if a door is slightly tilted, you can adjust things as you need to. Okay, now with our actual hinges. Because we're doing a double door back here, we are going to have a gap between the doors and we want to be able to close that up. One really nice feature of these Blum hinges is where this bar is that the hinge plate mounts to, there is a screw back in there, and that screw is also on the front of the hinge. If you watch right here on the edge, as I turn this screw, you see that now that hinge bar is protruding beyond the edge of the hinge. That shifts my door in and out, depending on which way I turn the screw, so that I can push those doors closer together or move them apart if they're too close that they won't close. Really nice feature built into these. Okay guys, unfortunately, microwave cabinet steps out a couple inches beyond the face of this cabinet, so we can't clamp that spacer block, so it's going to take both of us to hold the clamp, drill it, screw it, all that good stuff.
I think I can do it.
If you want to do it, go for it, big guy.
Let's see. Put the block up there. Put that against the face frame. Slide the block up. And got it.
There you go.
Don't move.
Get one and we can tighten it down.
Yeah. Screwdriver, please.
Screwdriver with screw.
Magnetic screwdriver.
Heck yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. I think I got it in there.
All right, now just as before, we'll go ahead and hang the door. So now all you do is flip this hinge back, and remember, you've got these little ears on the front. That helps me align my front to back with the door. Now Dad's gonna hold the door steady, and I'm gonna pre-drill my top hole.
Center of the slot.
Yep. And then install my screw. I'm ambidextrous, so I'm a lot better off screwing things with the left hand than Dad is. Okay.
We're good, man.
Now I'll get my bottom screw. All right. So as you guys can see, the doors are super close at the bottom and the gap opens up at the top just a hair. These are about as close as you could possibly get without them touching. So that's really nice. What I need to do is bring this top over. So, get my footstool. I'm going to open this up. Now you really want to pay attention to how much you turn these and which direction. So I'm just going to start out with maybe 1/8 of a turn, just to see how that does. Close, but not there. I'm going to go just a hair more. Counterclockwise turn, and just a hair more. That's the nice thing about these, is it's so easy to adjust them. That's one really nice thing about these hinges, as I was just showing you. This is infinitely adjustable within the parameters of that screw. You don't have clicks that you can go that are a set predetermined 1/16 or 32nd of an inch. You just lightly turn it and the door is going to move just a hair here and there. A counterclockwise turn pushes the doors closer together. A clockwise turn would pull the doors apart. So really nice feature built into these Blum hinges. All right, we got those two in. Let's kick it into high gear and get the rest of these things in.
Let's do it.
All righty. All right, guys. Well, we got them in.
We got it. Yeah, a little bit of fine tuning on a few of these doors yet to close the gaps up. But.
Yep, a little bit of tweaking here and there, but nothing to it. They went in really well.
Yep.
Look awesome. Really changed the face of this kitchen.
And I got to say, Andy does a phenomenal job on these cabinets.
Yeah.
I've been around this MDF for many moons, and a lot of them, these edges, they'll be all boogery and fuzzy, and all this up and down the side will look really rough. He's got a phenomenal machine up there. I mean, I don't know what that thing costs, but it's not cheap.
It's a nice machine.
It does a good job. It really does. It doesn't leave any boogers anywhere. Everything looks good.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And we had him pre-prime them for us. Really saved us a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And really nice.
We hand brushed every bit of these cabinets. He primed them with a spray gun.
Yeah.
But we're going to practice spraying because honestly, hand brushing is so time consuming.
Yeah.
The stuff dries up so fast. You have to paint this surface, and you have to paint this surface, and you have to paint this surface. You have to paint the edge, all at different times. Well, I do. You might be better at it than me, but this paint we were using, I'm not going to say any names, I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah. Supposed to be good, but it didn't.
No.
Didn't follow through. No. But we're happy. Everything looks nice, and we can start moving forward now.
Yep.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for checking in.
See you next time.